Metal Mike, Buzzard Junk and Antiques coming at you. It is Saturday. It is mid-afternoon. The baby's down for a nap. I got the baby monitor on. I got an opportunity now to shoot a real quick video for you. And what does this have to do with? This has to do with collecting. And as far as that goes, you know that I love heavy metal. You know that I collect vinyl. And I love to go to the rare, very rare show. Now, being in St. Paul and Minneapolis, Minnesota, living in the inner city of Minnesota, which is the Twin Cities, it's a very small community. It is so small here. They call it a city, but really it is just in the middle of all farmland. There's a tiny drop of a city. Well, on February 14th, just last week, Doro came to town from Germany. Now, if anyone is a metal fan, you know who Doro is. She's the metal queen. She has been at it since the early 1980s with her first band, Warlock. So, this was my first opportunity in all these years. I had been a fan of Doro when I was 17 years old, and I had that very first album, Warlock. And, matter of fact, it's right here, Burning the Witches. It's on Mausoleum Records, and I used to play it all the time at 17 years old as a young kid. And that's something else, you know, being from Minnesota, a small town, I tracked this down. They were from Germany. This is on an independent label. It was out there, definitely, but still, you know, still a rare piece. Not a lot of people grew up listening to Warlock. It wasn't until later on when she got more commercial success that she picked up. Now, anyway, I got to go and see her last Thursday on Valentine's Day, and amazingly, it was free. It was put on by the local promoter. I don't know how he pulled it off, but the show was free. It was Sister Sin in Doro. Now, I got there early. I don't go to many shows at all. The last one I went and seen Loudness about a year and a half ago. It was their 30th anniversary tour, and Loudness never tours the States. I went and I seen them. Small club. Well, I knew that with Doro here, I wanted to get there early because I wanted front row, no games involved. I'm going in. I'm not drinking at this point. Obviously, I don't drink no more at 45 years old. It's all about the metal and the passion for the music for me. So, I brought along this standee, which is from Warlock. This is kind of a odd, rare piece. There would be a picture disc in here for her album. And I brought this and the Burning the Witches' first rare album from Warlock, with the chance, the opportunity to meet Doro. Now, Doro always signs autographs everywhere, I know that, but still. So I went there actually February 14th in the afternoon, midday, no tour bus, nothing, no sign of her. So I had to come back home, and I sat and I waited and I went to that show. Now, I got there early, and I went in, and I stood there, and I watched two opening acts, and I finally got to see Doro. She hit the stage to the small club. It was freaking amazing. They blew the house out. Doro put on a show. Now, you got to remember, in Europe, she's playing massive sold-out festivals constantly. And on the East and West Coast, bigger, larger clubs, packed to the hilt. Here in St. Paul, Minnesota, small little club, not much of a crowd. Still a good show up, though. I have to say I was actually surprised. I didn't know what she would pull in. But anyway, got front row, watched the whole frickin' show, got two nice videos, which I posted. The sound is not that good, but I got from front row a perfect shot. Great video of Doro. So after the show, she runs off the stage, and she signs one autograph and ducks out. Now, there's a bouncer right there, and I say, hey, is she going to sign autographs? And as I'm saying it, I already know it's a stupid question. I don't know what the hell I'm asking this guy for. Number one, he doesn't know. And I said, can I get through here? I just seen her go that way. He's like, no, you got to go around. Split decision. Ran to the car. Got my standee. Got my Warlock album. Came back and stood by the bus. And I stood there. I was the only one there. Amazingly, no one had come out of the club. Everyone was too busy drinking, and I guess probably even meeting the band. Who knows? But I'm out by the bus, and I'm waiting, and no more than 5 minutes. And it was very dark in this, and there's an old alley that runs behind it. It's the old Ryan's Corner in downtown St. Paul. It's now called, what the heck, I don't care what it's called, Station 4. They should keep the old name, Ryan's. So anyway, I'm standing there, and I just basically, the corner's right here into the dark alley, which is literally a dark, long alley with no light. I look, and there's one guy that's coming right towards me. Boom, he's right there as soon as I round the corner. I recognize him as the keyboardist and stagehand for Doro. Immediately, there's a small figure. Now, I just seen her on stage. She didn't look that small. I know she's short, and I myself am not tall, but so small under a black hood. And I was like, is that Doro underneath that? And I just hear from under there, yes. And he says yes. And I asked if I could get an autograph. They got on the bus. And I kind of, just before they got on the bus, I said, hey, do I just stand here or what? I was just trying to get something before they got on the bus, and it was over. And they stopped. They opened the door. I actually was able to put almost 1 foot onto the bus. The guy was in front of me, and Doro was right here. And then I was able to express to her that I've been a fan since I was 17 years old. And what an amazing thing to see her, and how much her music means to me. And she was nothing but gracious and kind, and a big smile on her face. And basically told her, you know, this was, it was amazing being a fan at 17 years old and here at 45. And just to know it feels good to be right about something. I was a fan of all these bands that are now cult classic and just huge. People love them. They're just iconic even. And so it feels good to know that you were right about music. You know, a lot of stuff, you know, is gone and buried under the rug, and it is not important, but this stuff is still relevant, and it's just huge and an impact on the scene of heavy metal, and Doro's one of them. So to meet her even, just to tell her that. So she took this on the bus, she signed it, and she wrote, to Michael, all the best and all my love for Emmer, which means forever, Doro Pesch, and then she wrote, and yes, you were right. Awesome. Because I had told her that story. And then on here she also write, to Michael, all the best, with love, Doro Pesch. Now, that's standard. Now, those were the two pieces, so I'm going to go out of camera shot. Now, she also went ahead and filled out another piece for me and threw it in. It's nothing more than a postcard. But this is the thing that makes things special, is these little added touches that people can do in her position. You know, she's in a small town. I know that she had a cold that night and everything. She was not feeling good. She could have just signed her name on both those two pieces and been done with it. But she grabbed the little postcard, just that extra touch, and she wrote, to Michael, good luck and all the very best, with love. Now, obviously, that's standard. That's what she's writing on all of them. But then over on the back, because I had told her the story, it touched her on some level, and she went into that, and she wrote, yes, Michael, you were right. Remember, she wrote that on this one as well. And then, you can count on it. It's for Emmer. Rock on. Now, this is what sets Doro apart. She understands it. She has dedicated her life to heavy metal on every level. I was 17 years old. She's, I think, only a few years older than me, so she was maybe 21 at that point. She has worked her ass off all these years and continues to put out good heavy metal. So I just want to say, if forever anyone that's a fan of Doro, or if Doro sees this herself or their band see it, just wow, thank you for the music, because Doro helps me through hard days. When those are those days, that's when that's why I love heavy metal, because it pumps you up for the fight. It's just got that thing that can drive you and pump you up, and Doro does that. Pump you up. If you're old enough, you probably frickin' remember that, unfortunately. Oh, what a pathetic thing to have done on camera. But I did it, so that's done. So, big shout out to Doro. Now, what the hell does this have to do with collecting? Well, I collect vinyl. I've got the autographs. Now, remember, of course, the biggest sin with autographs, people say, is to have it personalized to Michael. In this case, I don't care. But as a package someday, I mean, I will have to sell this stuff. I have to sell this. I can't leave this behind just to get thrown out or sold at an estate sale. At some point in retirement, I've got a goal of 100, knock on wood. Good wood, too, by the way. That's when I would sell it, into my 80s and stuff. You know, and then as a part of heavy metal history, might get something for it, but who cares? Can't take it with you. Remember that. Ain't that the truth? So, that's my story, kind of a crossover into heavy metal, but yet keeping it in the collectible videos by simply saying, hey, these are now great little heavy metal pieces, the little story behind it, you were right, and a big shout out to Doro, one of the true metal queen of metal that earned the title by working for years. So, there's my rant. There's my speech. There's my passion for metal and collecting. Everybody have a great Saturday. Signing out, Metal Mike, back to work. Got the baby monitor ready to go. Hey now! Have a good day. Peace. Clop, 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 as you hear my slippers plop across the floor.